guys, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to a different part of my room. I decided to sit over this side because I actually have decorations up and it doesn't actually go with this video just yet. Also hence the makeup. You're actually seeing a little bit of a sneak peek here of one of my looks for one of my videos in October, so spooky season. So yeah, that's basically it. And also it's kind of comfy over here. I kind of like it. Only the fact that I have to change things around before I film. But this is actually kind of comfy and I do like this as a background. It's fun. So yeah, what we're going to do today is quite fun. I just feel like it. I don't know if anyone even cares, but I actually just feel like doing this video. So I'm actually going to go through my stack of Inglot shadows and blushes. I have some blushes as well. But and lipsticks. Inglot shadows, blushes and lipsticks that I have from their Freedom system. Their Freedom system is basically the build your own palette kind of thing. You go in, pick your size, go around and pick up all your shadows that you want and make your own palette out of it basically. And over the years it's the one thing that I have the most of, I think, apart from say MAC lipsticks, but this is actually the most shadows that I have from one singular brand. Also, it's the best way for me, I found, as a makeup artist, building up my own palette, building up my colours, getting to know textures, learning with colours and playing with colours, just playing around with stuff. Yeah, and also they do discount for makeup artists, so I think it's like 20% off. So that was always handy. And they're not that expensive anyway, even full price. So yeah, go get some. And I don't see enough people talking about the Inglot eyeshadows, and they're some of my favourites. I am gonna have some swatches in the video, hopefully, if it works out. We'll see. I'll kind of do it while I'm chatting away because I'm kind of just going to be showing you the palette and talking you through them. But I am going to have the swatches on the screen so you can see I did swatch everything from these palettes. I have a lot, guys. I'll just try and show you. Ugh. So we have a lot to get through here. I have 3 20 pan palettes. I have one flexi palette that just holds a couple of blushes. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 10 pans and 3 5 pans. Yes, they're all magnetic. They're extremely heavy. That is the only thing I will say, is that because it's all quite metal and magnetized, and the Inglot palettes are quite heavy. It's kind of why I like the flexi palette, because the flexi palette is a little bit lighter because there's not as much in it. And also they do an eco palette, which is, you would have seen it at some point. It's the kind of one that's like wooden, and it's the eco palette. It's eco friendly, but it's quite light, so I do like that for traveling. I wish I did an eco palette this size, would be great. But yeah, everything is magnetized. It's great. I love picking out my colours, popping them into my palettes and using it from there. Yeah, so let's get into it. I don't know where I started with my swatches, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to start with my biggest palettes. And I'm actually going to start with the one that has kind of the random bits in it, because I can't fit them anywhere else. And also not that I don't use them, I haven't been using them as much, so I've put them into this palette. So my first palette is a 10 pan palette. Most of them are square. I have a couple of round ones because they used to do round shadows, but they switched to the square because they were charging the same amount of money and people were buying the square ones because there's more product in them. It just makes sense. Also, excuse my face if this side looks patchy here. It's because of 2 spots right where I contour. Yeah, very annoying, but whatever. So this is what I have here. I have one empty spot here. I've also accidentally sometimes bought ones I've already had. It's a hard thing to not do when you've got a lot of colours. But yeah, they're just colours that I don't use as often. This is a newer one, this limey green. It just didn't fit in the palette and I really want to put it in. But it's really nice. It's almost a bit chartreusey. Some gorgeous kind of foresty khaki sort of greens up here. Moving on then down to this row, you got cooler tones. We've got some cooler browny mauvey colours and some purpley, and like this beautiful mauvey brown, which you will see in the swatches. I'll also have the numbers of everything, and I'm pretty sure I did swatch them in this order as far as I can remember, but you will see all the swatches, so don't worry. And then this row here is kind of just a bit warmer, so I've got this kind of peach shade. You can see I definitely have well loved that. That was actually one of my first shades I ever bought. That shade and that green shade was one of the first shades I ever bought. I bought a little 5 palette as my starter point, and from there it just carried on. Got some kind of warmer shades. It's a mix of matte and shimmers. They've a couple of different textures. They do mattes, they do pearl, which are like super metallics. They do the shine, which is sometimes a duochrome. They've got a little bit of it's like super metallic as well, but also has a little bit of something or a bit extra sparkle or something like that. And then they have the likes of, say, these guys, this and this guy, where it's a matte with a sparkle in it, but it doesn't bother me too much. It bothers some people, but not me. And then down here I've got 3 cooler tones. I've got some greyish sort of tones. It's actually a beautiful shade. It's like a grey with a slight greeny blue undertone to it. A sort of royal blue colour. And then this is actually a lipstick, so they do lipsticks in their Freedom system. So I do have one. I have actually 5 mad looking colours, but I have one like regular one. But yeah, I just feel like for me, Inglot was definitely a big step for me. It was one of the first brands I fully got into. I would buy so many things from them. If I got a voucher for anything for the store, I would go in and buy so many shadows, so hence why I have a lot of them. But yeah, I just really, really like them. So next I'm going to move on to this palette, and I hope that this black, there's a black in here that it's not that it's broken, it just keeps kind of shattering, and also the green, now that I think about it. What I will say is some of them are very old, some of the shadows, they still work perfectly fine, it's just that they've kind of dried slightly, and they've started to crack a little bit. So I'm probably going to get rid of them at some point and replace them with newer ones. But yeah, so this is my round palette, and the reason why I have one round palette, I actually have 2 round palettes, but I have one round palette that's empty, there's no shadows from Inglot in it. It is just an empty Inglot palette. I have this because when they were changing from doing the rounds and the squares to just doing the squares, they had this on sale. And they basically had it full of other colours that I've since either used up or gotten rid of. But a lot of these are ones that came in this palette, and it was basically €20 for the whole palette with all the shadows in it. And these are the size of MAC shadows. These aren't small. These are like MAC size eyeshadows. These are standard size round pans. Yeah. So up here we've got our deeper kind of smoky shades. We've got another metallic sort of silvery colour, gunmetal kind of colour. And then I've got a lot of blacks, and you'll think this is weird. So this black has a blue sparkle in it. This one right here. This black has a gold sparkle. This one has got a silver and a slightly pink sort of sparkle in it. And then this is a matte black, which I've hit pan on because it's like one of my favourite blacks. Then moving on, we've got some more cooler tones down here, some lighter tones. So this beautiful silver, but it's almost white, it's so bright. We have got a beautiful blue, periwinkle, purple, all that kind of jazz. These 2 oranges are exactly the same because I already had one, and then I got this big palette, and then I have 2. Nice yellow, beautiful, one of the best chartreusey shimmers that I own. This one here is what I mean, if you can kind of see here. It's kind of cracked a little bit, so it's just not keeps kind of crumbling out, which is kind of annoying, but I will eventually get rid of it. It is a great green though. And then down here we've got a couple of kind of pinky sort of tones. So this is like a red, but it's not quite red, it has a bit of orange in it. This is a pink to gold shimmer, and then 2 kind of matte shades. One is more of a corally pink, and then one is a bright pink. So yeah, I'm going to throw up some swatches as I talk. As I've said, you've probably already seen a swatch of these, but I just think that being able to build your own palette, I know so many brands do it, like Makeup Geek is built on that. Colourpop does it, I have one of their palettes. There's so many brands that do it, but I just think it's so handy to be able to do that because you can literally make your own palette. I love a curated palette. I love when someone makes a colour store for me. It's almost like a challenge. I'm like, yeah, what can I actually do with this? That I didn't pick these colours, even though I bought the palette. I didn't pick these colours. How am I going to make looks out of this? And that's what I love about doing my palette bingos, my 3 looks 1 palettes, my first impressions, and all those kind of things, which I will have linked around the place. But actually going in and choosing your own look exactly how you want it to be, that's a lot of fun. Diving into my little drawers, picking out all my colours from my palette, I just love doing that. Next up then, if you like a neutral palette, this is my neutral palette. This is the neutral palette I have created for myself. It's my perfect little neutral palette. I say little, it's 20 shades. This moving back onto the square pans, and this is my neutral palette. Eat your heart out, Jeffree Star. Yes. You will notice it's quite light. It's lighter heavy, or light to medium kind of heavy, because this is my own makeup. This is my own palette. All of this is my own makeup. I haven't been doing freelance. I just work. I don't get time to freelance. So this is all me. This is the kind of shades that I use on my own personal face, and I love it. I love it. So where are we going to start? We're going to start up here, I think. So we've got some beautiful browns up here. The most beautiful chocolatey brown in a matte. This one here is kind of like a brown with a slight purple undertone to it. Slight now, very slight. And it's one of those matte with shimmers or with sparkles, but you don't really see the sparkles too much. Then I've got 3 metallics here. One is a super deep dark chocolatey shimmer. One is a warm, almost reddish brown sort of shimmer. And then a nice kind of bronzy gold. It kind of reflects gold. Then moving on here, we have a very special shade in this shadow, in this palette, by the way. It's very special. It's the only shadow I've actually run through and had to buy another one. So moving along here, you've got more mid-tone browns, a lot of transition shades, beautiful pinky shimmer. This one here is a special shade, and you wouldn't think that's not that special. It's the most beautiful brown. No, I won't even say brown. It's a grey with a brown undertone in it. It's matte, and it's what I use on my eyebrows. This is the colour when I write down in my description box that I've used an Inglot shade on my brows. This is the one I use. This is the one I refer to. It's my favourite brow colour. This gorgeous metallic taupe. Oh, I'll actually swatch that one for you guys. It's just stunning. I love this. My mum actually wears that colour quite a bit. She has her own little palette, her little own like 2 palette. And then moving on a little bit more, you've got some more kind of transition-y shades, a kind of nice, I would say a little bit deeper than my skin tone, sort of shade here. More shimmers. This is like a light kind of off-white with a peach shift to it. That's just like a shimmery nude, which is beautiful if you don't want anything too over the top. It's just really nice. Then down here is a lot of my lighter shades. So these would be, for me actually, they're still kind of transition shades. Yeah, I'm that pale. And then a matte white. This is kind of like my skin colour sort of colour that I would buff all over my brow or all over my eye if I just wanted to do mascara and a crazy lip, like the lip I'm on right now, even though I've got purple on my eyes, but whatever. You'll see the swatches anyway, so you'll know what the colours look like. And then so we have our matte white here, which I've definitely hit pan on. Excuse my nails, by the way. Jesus, they need to be dealt with. And then a shimmery white, which I do love a shimmery white as well. So that is my beautiful neutral palettes. The one that if I was to make my own neutral palette, this is the one I made because I did make it for myself. It's perfect for me. It's got everything I need as far as neutrals go, even though I don't wear neutrals that often. But I just think it's such an easy palette to actually wear for me and my skin tone. Next up then I want to move on to my little 5-pan palettes before we get into the colour because I've done them by colour and they're very nice and very satisfying. So let's just start. Where will we start? I will start with the lipsticks, I think. So at one point, I don't know if they still do them anymore. I would have to look into that or check online. MAC did what's called the Colour Play lipsticks, and they were basically crazy colours. So these are all lipsticks. They're designed to be They're designed to be mixed and make your own colours, layered, do all that kind of stuff. I've used a few of them. I'm pretty sure I used that in my blue colour series look, and I used this one I think in my yellow colour series look. But they're just designed to be mixed. Yeah, I just think that they're really fun. They are very bright. There's nothing really subtle about them, to be fair, and they're all a cream kind of texture, if that makes sense. But yeah, I just think it's really fun to have them. They're nice to play with. They're actually beautiful tones of each individual colour. It's a beautiful like cyan blue, really nice purple, like your standard purple, fuchsia pink. This orange is stunning. It actually kind of has a little bit of pink in it as well. It's almost like an orange with a coral undertone, not a pink undertone, but like a coral undertone. And then a true yellow, which is hard to get a yellow lipstick. So yeah, I just think it's very nice, very fun, very cool, fun to play with. If you're artistic, especially with your makeup, it's very fun. Next then I have another little neutral palette, and it's only because these are round shadows that I popped them in here. And yeah, and they are colours that I use quite a bit. So this is my little neutral round palette. It's really nice. This guy here is a brown. It's one of those matte with the sparkles. And then we've got the rest are shimmers. It's not that I put them in here for any particular reason. It's because they were round, neutral, and they fit in one little palette together. But yeah, it's actually kind of nice tones when I look at it this way. This is kind of like almost like a taupey sort of brown. This is like a greeny gold sort of shade. This is like a true gold or thereabouts. And then this is like a really shimmery ivory sort of shade. It has like a gold shimmer off it. I use that a lot on my inner corner for certain looks. But yeah, I think it's just a nice little palette to have if I needed something to like throw in my bag. I could grab this if I wanted to. I don't use it as often because I have been like using curated palettes already, but I love my collection. I'd love it. I'll only get rid of shades and replace them. I would never completely get rid of my whole collection of Inglot. Moving on, then we're going to go into, also these are kind of different as well. These are the rainbow shadows. My palette is filthy. Oh my god, I'll actually have to take a wipe to that. I don't think I can get that off right now. Excuse the really dirty palette. But these are the rainbow shades. So basically it's 3 pans, 3 shades in each pan. They had a whole load of them. So I was like, oh, that's cool. You're getting 3 for only like a couple of euro more. You're getting 3 colours essentially, and they're really handy. And the only one I don't use that much is the nudie one, but I don't know why I bought the nudie one. I think I just bought it because like, oh yeah, nude, why not? This is at the beginning of my makeup career, so it was like, yeah, nude everything because everyone's gonna wear nude. No, and I don't wear nude all the time, so but they're really fun. So you get like a really nice mix of like tones. There's like other greens that they do, other kind of orange. They do like proper orange, but I wanted the kind of burnt orange. I thought would be more fun. And then red, well, I say red, it's more pink and plum. But yeah, I just feel like they're really nice to have. I do use them quite a bit. You may need a smaller brush to kind of go in and actually get at them because they're not the biggest pans in the entire world, but I just think they're quite pretty. Very nice. Okay, and then moving on to the blush palette. So I have one blush palette and 2 blushes and 1 contour that I'm going to group together because that's the way I've swatched them. So yeah, this here is my little palette that I bought. It's also one of those ones that was on sale, and I bought it because I was like, oh yeah, blush palette, and I'm a makeup artist, so blush palettes actually are functional for me. They're really nice ones. This is such a stunning pink, and I've used it on my eyes a lot. It's a really stunning pink, and I love these 2 colors as well, but I don't use them all the time on the cheeks. I just think I forget about them. They get lost in my drawers sometimes. But when I need like a really bright pink, before I had a lot of my palettes, this is the one I always went for. It was actually such a good pink. Really nice little mix of tones, even though they're all kind of mid-tone, but they're really strong, so they do come out quite pigmented. Yeah, it's nice. I bought it on sale, so it's really nice. And then the other ones just to go with that, which will also be shown in the swatches at some point now, I'd imagine. These are the blush lighters. No, not blush lighter, that's from Wet n Wild. These are the, what are you called? Freedom System Fusion Blush and Illuminator. Where did I get blush lighter from? So that, and then also a sculpting powder, which I do use quite a bit. Love this, love these. So basically on one side you've got like a matte blush, and then on up here you've got like a shimmer in a similar sort of tone, like it's a bit lighter but in a similar sort of tone, and it's basically, you can mix it together to get like a slightly luminous blush, or you can use them separately. Use one as a highlighter, whatever way you want to do it. They're just really nice, really pretty tones. I'll probably have the swatches up now with including the blushes as well, the blush palette, because I swatched them together like I said. But I just think the tones are really pretty. I'm pretty sure I bought them online, as far as I can remember. They had like an online sale and I ordered these 2. I love this kind of colour when I don't want anything too too in your face in terms of blush, but still give you a blush sort of look. And then this is a gorgeous corally shade. So pretty, so nice. The contour also stunning. Really pretty. I use that in my in a look you're gonna see coming up soon. It's a spooky season look as well, because we're getting there. We're slowly but surely getting there. Okay, and now we are going to move on to our 10 pan palettes. I have, what did I say, 1 2 3 4 5. I have 5 10 pan palettes. So I have 50 shadows in my hands right now. That's really insane to think about. So let's go through these, and I have done these by color palette, and I'm very proud of these, if I do say so myself. I've only recently organised them as well from when I was reorganised all my drawers. We're going to start with the purple. The packaging, by the way, it just slides like this, and they're magnetic. They're strong magnets now, so you're not gonna really be able to just flick them out. They actually sell a magnet to help take them out, so I have that as well. But this is our little palette here. I don't know which way did I swatch it? Was it this way? I can't remember. I don't know. I swatched it whichever way. You'll get the idea when you see the swatches. But this is basically my little purple palette, and slightly pink palette as well, I will say, because the only kind of pink shadows that I have are either the blush that I use or in the big round palette. But in this guy here, we've got a lot of your kind of more violet-y, cooler tone purples up here. I'll try and get up close there so you guys can see. So these are like your more violet-y sort of tones up here. This is a beautiful, super, super dark, almost black kind of plum colour. Two purples that look very similar, yes, I know. This one has a bit more blue in it. This one is probably my favourite purple in my Inglot collection. Not in my entire collection anymore, but it used to be. It's my favourite in my Inglot collection. Gorgeous lilac sort of purple here, which I think is so handy for blending purples. And this is like a shimmery sort of lilac as well, so it's a bit lighter than this one. Then down here we were a little bit more mauvey, and also I have like a pink here and a pinky sort of duochrome. And this is like a beautiful berry tone, and then two more kind of, they're definitely purple, but they're kind of greyish purples. Like they're definitely more mauvey, cooler, more neutral purples actually, if you want to even call it that. So I just think the way I've done these is just very satisfying for me. I just think it's very satisfying. Alrighty, so let's move on to another colour theme that I love, and it's my green palette. So this is, again, kind of two different types of greens. I did kind of do them like that, either like dark and light, or one tone to another tone. So this is my green palette. Look how stunning that looks on camera. Holy moly. Wow, that actually looks really, really bright on camera. It looks really bright in real life, but looking back at it, it's so different. Oh my god. So basically in this palette we have got kind of our, what I would call warmer greens and cooler greens. So greens with more blue in them, and then greens with more yellow in them, which would make them warm. So basically we've got, I do have a yellow because it just fits here. It doesn't fit anywhere else. It could fit in the orange palette that I have, but not really. When you see the orange palette you'll understand. It fits much better here. We've got the most stunning, one of my favourite greens ever. Just ever. It's such a good lighter lime green for blending. Beautiful shimmery green with this like gold shimmer in it, and a khaki, which I'm pretty sure I've got a double of that in that other palette with the random colours in it. This stunning true grassy, not grassy, just like a true green would be the way to describe it. Then moving down here we've got a more bluey tone, so you've got the likes like your teals, minty kind of colours, more teal. This is like green that has like an emerald sort of shift off, if you can see it there, and then an almost black teal. So that's kind of how they look there. Try and get the swatches up now as well. Trying to trigger myself of when to put them up. But that's how it looks there. You can kind of see how the colours look. They're just so, so nice. I just wish people would use Inglot more. I wish people would want to see it, want to use it, because then more people would actually use it in videos. And I love looking at people's Inglot collections. I love looking at people using Inglot, because I know I have a lot of the colours, so I'm like, oh, I have that, I could recreate that. So now we're going to move on to our blue palette. This I've kind of done light to dark, if that makes sense. Let's see. Yes. So again, look how bright that looks. Oh my god. It looks so bright in real life as well, but I think it's the lighting. It's actually making it look like neon. So up here I have got my kind of, it's a white with a blue kind of duochrome. It's like a sky blue. I love this for blending out with the dark colours. These two look very similar, and I always kind of have to swatch it to remind myself why they're different, because they do look very similar, but they're both stunning. Yeah, so this one here is more like just a blue shimmer, and then this one has a gold, slight gold shimmer. That's like the worst place I swatched. I don't know why I swatched there, but I don't know if you can see. Can you see? Can you see the difference? I move my hand, maybe? Look at my hand, oh my god. Why did I swatch there? So yeah, basically the second one here has more of a gold sort of sheen through it, and then the first one in the middle there is more just more like a shimmery blue. There's no real like different undertone in it. It's just a shimmery blue. But yeah, every time I look at them, I'm like, why are they different? And then this one here is like a deeper sort of blue, also with a slight gold sheen. It's kind of what I would say is like a denim blue. Would be that color. It's very pretty. Then back over this side, we've got the most bright cyan blue ever, or electric blue, or whatever you want to call it, cobalt blue. Although I consider these more cobalt. And then this is more of a royal blue matte, which I do like, and I do like that it's in here. Kind of throws the palette a little bit. Instead of just being a gradient of blue, there is this to kind of throw in. You're like, oh, that's interesting, but it still fits. And then we've got this one here, which is just like a cobalt blue. It's one of those matte with sparkles in them. Some of them, if they look a bit funny, I may have broken them and had to repress them because I love them so much, so I just repressed them. This is a shimmery version of that color. It's like a just like a shimmery, not quite navy, but like a deeper shimmery blue. And then this is more like a navy blue, also a matte with a slight, very soft, very like it's even softer than all the other ones, sort of shimmer. But yeah, that is our little blue palette, and I love him. I think it's just so pretty. It's so nice to just open my palettes and be like, yeah, there's all my blues. Which blue is the right one for my look today? Makes it so easy. Okay, we're getting through them. I only have 2 palettes left. I'm actually going to do this one, I think, next. So this is my gold and... oh, there's a lot of gold. It's my gold and I will say grey palette. More so than silver because there is a few greys. This top row is basically all shimmer. It's hard to have a gold that's not shimmery because gold is shimmer. It's like silver. You can't really have a silver that's not shimmery because silver is a metallic. It's a metal. But you can have a grey that's as light as the silver, but it's still considered a grey if it's not shimmery, you know, that kind of way. But these are all my shimmery golds and they're all completely different. Yes, I know, they're all gold, but they're all completely different. And then down the bottom here, we've got all of the lovely grey tones. I'm very happy with this bottom row. I actually really, really love it. So up here, we have got a white with a gold reflex. Got the duochrome, like the blue one in the other palette. This one here would be what I would consider to be a true lighter gold, if that makes sense. So it's definitely not too yellow, not a rosy gold, not a coppery sort of gold, but it's a lighter version as well. This one here is definitely more of a rose gold, definitely, you can kind of see it there a bit better. Definitely more of a kind of pinky undertone to it, but it's beautiful. This one here is like a true gold, like it's a stunning gold. And then this one in here is almost like an antique kind of gold. It's a bit more deeper, has a bit more of a yellowy green kind of undertone to it. Moving on then down to the bottom row here. So here we have got this beautiful grey, which I love with all my heart. I am very close to hitting pan on it. It's a matte with a sparkle, and it's also a light neutral toned grey. There's no brown, there's no blue, there's no purple, it's neutral. Then we've got this really nice silver, like a standard silver, not as light as the other ones that I showed you in the round palette. This is definitely more of a true silver. This one here is a newer one for me. This is just a mid-tone grey. It's such a beautiful colour. It's why it made the cut straight away into my little grey palette. It's just such a nice little grey to use as your mid-tone for these colours. This guy here is so stunning. This is basically how would I describe it to you? It's a grey, obviously. And it just, sometimes to me, it has a bit of a purple in it. I just hope you can see that. I'm not sure. It's a very interesting colour. Not quite gunmetal, I wouldn't consider it. But it's very, very pretty. And then the last shade is a matte, almost black grey. It's a charcoaly kind of colour. And he's lovely. So that is how they look there. I love that bottom row. I actually find it so satisfying. I just love me a cool tone, like smoky sort of look. Like the Colourpop Smoke Sessions. Is that what it's called? No. Blowing Smoke. That's what it was called. Now called Smoke Sessions, I think. The kind of black and grey palette. I loved, I did love the look of the Jeffree Star Cremated palette. I did. And I love the look of the V Cosmetics Grimoire, I think it's called, palette. Love that. I think that's such a pretty palette. The little Lime Crime palette, and I can't remember what it's called, and it was that cool tone taupey sort of colour scheme. I have lusted after that a little bit too. Now we're going to go with the opposite way, and we're going to go super warm. We're going to go all fiery for this last palette. This is the last palette in my little collection. Now I do have like Inglot lipsticks, I have Inglot lip liners, I have Inglot liners. I have a lot of Inglot liners actually. I have a lot of Inglot pigments. I have all those kinds of things, but this is the biggest collection I have. So this is my orange and red palette. Look at the beauty of that. And you see now why the yellow wouldn't fit in here, because it's not quite that sort of orange, even though I love that kind of orange. So let's start up top with the reds. I do apologise if the swatches don't match, like if the reds are on the bottom and swatches. I can't remember which way I actually did it. But it still makes sense. So up here then we have got a matte with a sparkle. It's kind of like a matte red with a gold sparkle through it. And it's kind of like leaning on the raspberry sort of side of red. Same with this one here. Again, it's more metallic, but it is also leaning on the raspberry side. This is a beautiful true red. It's so stunning. Also kind of has a gold fleck through it, even though it's more matte, but still stunning on the eyes. And then this one here is a metallic kind of deep red. I wouldn't really, yeah, no, actually I would kind of say it's a burgundy. This one's a bit more burgundy, but this one definitely is a really nice pretty colour. And this one here is also a matte with a slight gold sparkle through it, and it's just a super beautiful colour with all of these sort of red colours. I just think it's really nice. And then down on the bottom here we have got this shimmery peach sort of shade. It's quite light, if that makes sense. Like it's light, but peach, it's not, I don't know, it's very hard to describe. It's just a very pretty colour. Also kind of newer for me. I've only had it in the last year, so yeah. This one here I've had for a very long time, as you can see. Whenever I want a warm blending colour, this is the one. I used to have this in my neutral palette, but I took it out to go into this side because I wanted my neutral palette to be more neutral, where this kind of made it, it was almost like a pop of colour in it, which really put me off it a little bit. So I popped it in here. This one here is one of the first shades that I picked out when I first bought my very first palette. It's like one of those orange with a gold shimmer through it. It's so stunning and such a beautiful colour, beautiful texture. It's so nice. Then this one here is a shimmery burnt orange, which is also stunning. How many times have I said stunning in this video? Yeah, I know. And then this is a matte, yes, matte burnt orange as well. Also so stunning. It's so beautiful. They're just really, really nice. So let me show you them up close. So yeah, this is just gonna give you all the warm vibes, all the summer vibes. If you love yourself a warm palette, you can take some inspo from this guy. He's so pretty. Yeah, I just really like it. I really like it. I remember Beautylish used to be able to build your own Inglot palette. They used to have all the shades on their website, and you used to be able to build your own. That was really fun, and I think they got rid of it, and it's very sad. Because I used to be able to pick out colours, put them together, and I seen people do like, oh, palettes inspired by characters and stuff like that, and make them on Beautylish. It was very fun, and I miss it. But yeah. So that is my little collection of my Inglot shadows. I don't know if anyone cares about it or not. I care. I like my Inglot shades, and I wanted to show you guys because I do have a lot of them and I do feature them in videos, and it can be a bit I find it's a bit random sometimes when you see someone use like one single shadow from a brand and then like never ever speak of it again, or not never speak of the shadow again, but never speak of the brand and never show off, like not show off, but like show the reasons why they buy it, what they love about it. And yeah, it can kind of just throw you off a little bit. It's different with a curated palette, obviously, because you buy the palette as a palette, and there's obviously loads of reasons then, and you obviously bought it because you like it. But with something like this, I just feel like it's really nice to see what people do gravitate towards. I love seeing people's single shadow collection, because this is technically a single shadow collection. And yeah, it's the biggest one I have. The only other big one that I have is Makeup Geek. That's 3Z palettes full, or pretty much full, almost full. That's kind of it. The other ones then I only have either like one palette, like my Colourpop palette, or well, I have two. I have one little Colourpop palette. And I've no other single shadows as far as I know. I have some MAC ones, but no one needs to see those because I very rarely use them. Very rarely use them, and they're just ones I've depotted from singles that I have, and they don't look pretty in the palette, trust me. And they don't all fit in the palette, they're kind of just all put in there. But yeah, I just think it's fun seeing a little bit of a deeper dive into collections. And also I am going to do a palette collection video, hopefully coming up soon, where I actually go in and show you all my actually curated palettes. I'm going to show you all of them, every single one of them, even the ones that either aren't sold anymore from brands that maybe no one's ever heard of, all that kind of stuff. I want to go through it all and just say why I like them. It's going to be a long video. Oh, prepare yourself, it's going to be a long video, like this one probably is, but I will definitely be doing that. And yeah, that's all I can think to say now. So if you did like this video, give me a big thumbs up down below. Let me know in the comments, do you have Inglot eyeshadows actually? And if so, tell me which ones, because I want to know. I want to know if we have the same ones. I'll pop all my ones. They'll all have had their names with the swatches, hopefully, if I can figure out how to do that. I'm not sure. I'll get my boyfriend to help me with that. But yeah, I want to know if you have them, and if you do you like them? Because I love them. I really love them. I think the textures and they build so nicely, and the pigment is beautiful, and they're just so nice. I'm just so used to working with them. I just find it so easy. Also let me know in the comments, is there any shades in here that you want me to use in future looks? I can definitely do that. It may not happen until next year, but it will happen eventually. And yeah, also hit subscribe down below to see more videos, to see my palette collection that's coming up soon, to see more tutorials. We have, as I'm filming this today, which is it's midnight now, so it's now just gone the 8th, but it was the 7th when I started filming. So from the 7th, so on the 10th in Ireland, I think, the Lush Halloween collection is launching. I'm going to be buying it, or most of it anyway. And I'm going to be doing a video on it towards the end of the month. So, get ready for spooky season, guys. It's coming. It's coming. Yeah, I know it's coming. I'm so happy. I have my horror movie list already done. I know what I'm going to be watching for the whole of October. I'm so happy. I'm pretty sure I've planned out my actual Halloween costume as well. And my boyfriend's, if he sticks with it. If not, I have to think of something else. But yeah, that's going to be fun. I'll probably post Instagram pictures of that. Speaking of Instagram, go follow my Instagram down below. I know this is very rambly. Go follow my Instagram down below, because I always post pictures of my makeup looks and things like that. And I'm going to try and do more stories of some sort, of even if it's pictures or whatever it is, or just my general life in my stories. And this makeup look will go up on my Instagram, so give it a follow down below so you can see it more up close. I don't want to get too close because it's not up yet. You're getting a sneak peek right now. So yeah, I will see you in the next video, I think. I will definitely see you in the next video, but I'm pretty sure that's all I need to talk about. Yes, so I'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye!